How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. You had a fake field goal in the last game. Is that something that you saw earlier in the season from them, or was that something you just said, you know what, this is a look we got?
Yeah, it's always look for fakes every week, no matter who the team is. We've been practicing that all year, and it was up that week. It'd been up a couple of times this season. We just didn't have the op to run it. I was glad we ran it, and it was successful, so that was cool.
Like Scooney was down the field there, so is that an option for Aubrey to throw it to him, or is it just run? I don't know what the...
Yeah, no, it's an option. I think it just happened to where he was so fast. He actually peeked, looked at the first down marker, got the first, and we're happy with that.
And then Todd Archer with ESPN, a lot of times you're taking advantage of what they're showing you with their aggressive. They didn't stop. They didn't peel back a little bit on their rushes off the edge, it looked like. Were they more aggressive than most teams when it comes to that?
No, they did. They did versions of it. Like, they changed up a little bit. A couple times they didn't. I think most of those were extra points where you usually don't get fakes. But, no, they changed a little bit, but they just didn't. You need both guys going on that one. So the change they did was just the edge.
And then Brandon, he tells us he's not a guy that really wants to get mechanically in the weeds on what went wrong on things. When he misses, I mean, it's 59 yards. I know it's not like...
Yeah, right.
You think he's always going to make it, but
yes.
What do you tell him after a game like last week?
Not much. We just talked about what we thought it was, and it was exactly what he said. He hit the first one good. And like you said, there was a 51 and 59. I think Shotty said it best when he said we're pretty spoiled with him. I mean, I see a lot of guys that when the ball's in the 41 that they're usually doing a sky punt, which now he's hitting a 59-yarder and even further than that. So I think, yeah, and the second one was just it came off his toe, which happens every now and then with him. You obviously don't want to miss two. We have high expectations, and he's got a high standard for himself, but it happened.
Nick Harris, 4-Star Telegram. Do you like to see Aubrey making tackles like he did on a couple weeks ago on the kickoff? I don't know if we got a chance to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we did, and no. We did. It was a good tackle, but we definitely don't want to make it him.
It felt like Minnesota was getting a lot of pressure on field goals. I don't know if you guys made some personnel changes on that left side. Just kind of when you go back and look at where pressure does come on field goals, and what is I guess you as a special teams coordinator, your approach in being able to, counteract that?
Just little tweaks in how you're coaching it and the technique. It was just he was good off the edge. Was it 2, Isaiah? I think he was the one. He gets a good jump. Yeah, he gets a good jump. He does a nice job. We were getting it off, but it's just the technique of the wing and guys have been really good. We haven't had a lot of penetration this year. I think guys have had good spike step, had their pads down, and for the most part it's to T. Steele's side as the wing, and even when it's Scooney's side, they do a good job.
And with Cameron Dicker, I mean, him and Aubrey have been two of the most accurate kickers in the league. What have you appreciated about Cameron?
Just the consistency. I mean, that's what stands out the most. The guy's unbelievable. He's really consistent. He hits a nice, smooth ball and gets good ball flight on it, and he just seems to always kind of draw that ball right in there. So a lot of respect for him, obviously. I mean, highest percentage of all time. He's really good.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. I think I know the answer, but I figured I'd ask just in case. Okay. When you have a missed field goal from that long, obviously sets up a short field. Does those missed field goals make you rethink field position at all and when you want to kick long with Brandon Aubrey?
It really didn't change from there. It's always situationally and how we're feeling. He hit the ball great in warm-ups. He's always been hitting it up, great all week. And, quick talk to him. And he's always so locked in, and he doesn't spend too much time mulling over. Obviously, he wants to make it, but it didn't really change our approach later. I think there were situations to where what the score is, but not really. We got so much confidence in him, it didn't really change.
And then kickoff coverage, obviously, Lions was a little bit of a struggle this week, was pretty good. What did you kind of point to the reason why he was so much better this week?
I think the guys just played violent. They're getting off blocks, like I said, making sure there's no excuse, get to the ball. And wasn't so much scheme. Our guys just really executed really well.
Tommy Arch, DallasCowboys.com. Excuse me. It seems like Brevin has only gotten better and better as the years gone on on special teams. Yeah. Where have you seen him grow in that department for you over the course of the year?
He just has such a great mentality, and with offensive guys, you don't necessarily – I mean, he blocks with that mentality too. I think he's gotten a lot of respect for that, for being physical, for being violent, a finisher, a guy who knocks guys off the ball, and then now you get to see it in this coverage. He's just a tough dude. He's got the right mindset. I love it. He's got I always joke with him, he's got like a defensive mindset to where and he has fun too. You see him smiling all the time, but he's locked in. I mean, he's a big freaking dude that can run. Like, he can knock you back, but he can also make you miss, and that's just a tough matchup when you're trying to block a guy like that on kickoff. So you're always going to see one of their bigger, better guys trying to block him.
Is it rare for offensive kind of skill position players to be as productive as he has in terms of tackles on special teams?
Absolutely. I mean, generally, yes. But when those guys can do that, they make a name for themselves, and they usually can play a long time. And, that's what helped Flo, and now Flo's – I always tell the guys it's hard to be up getting catches, or it's hard to get catches when you don't dress. And if you're a backup, you need to show that you can play on special teams, and then now you're up and you're producing on special teams. You get an op in the game to make a catch. You can't get it if you're not dressing, and special teams is the quickest way to ensure that you can be up. If you're a backup, you got to be good at it. And then the more you do that, you get more ops. Look at Flo. Flo gets more ops because, he obviously is a good offensive player, but he was a really good special teams player. Now I can't quite use him as much, so someone else is getting an op. Now Mingo's going to go play, and he did a nice job this week too, really good job blocking. So, and then he had a catch because he's dressing, so it all plays a part, and we do our small part to help with the field position to help us win the game.
Babe Loffmer, 105.3 The Fan, Cowboys Radio Network. Nick, on the fake, not necessarily that one in particular, but just in general, what is the mechanics? You obviously talked to Coach Schottenheimer during the week.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got this. And when you green light it, do you have to go to him and say, on the sideline, that obviously happens fast, right?
Yeah, I talk with him early in the week. I usually give him the ones I like, the exact situations. We try and sit down later in the week, whether it's Friday or Saturday, whenever he gets a quick minute. He's very busy, so he can see it on tape. He'll put the pecking order of, depending on how many might be up, the situation. He's got to understand it, feel good about it. And then there's communication. Ryan Feeder does a really good job communicating, so I usually have him involved too, and Shotty involves all of us so that there's communication there so that he knows going into it what the situation is, already declared, early in the week, confirmed later in the week. We usually practice it, so he sees it at practice. We've been practicing that one pretty much the whole year, so we just always want to have him ready so it's not the first time you've seen it,
He doesn't have to green light that particular.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he green lights it for sure. Yeah, everything goes through Shotty, 100%.
Right before that, you're saying, okay, we've got it up, we good, right?
Yes, it is definitely Coach Schottenheimer for sure. Yeah, Yeah.
Do you guys have a higher amount of offensive guys that seem to be excelling? Like Spanford, and you talked about Malik a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Lipke's a core guy.
Absolutely.
Is that higher than normal to have offensive guys doing as well?
No, I don't think it's higher. I think there's a lot of guys. You have to, I mean, that's just the balance of who's active and who's elevated for the game and who's playing and who's dressing. So those guys have to be involved. Now production, I don't know. I feel like our guys have produced really well and done a nice job.
All right. Anything else?